Hello, my dear students. Hope you guys are all doing good. Hope you guys are all perfectly fine. And I do hope that your preparation is going on well. From the last few days, because of some personal work, I'm unable to post the videos on a regular basis. So it has been a gap for a while now. But now I am free of all my responsibilities and obligations. Once again, you will see the regular content getting uploaded on our channel from now. So, as you all are aware, the exams are approaching very soon. We have very limited number of days available left for our preparation. So those people who are already doing the preparation from the beginning without any delay, without any deviations, without any disturbances, if you are such a student who are already doing the preparation, then you have nothing to do with this video. I'm going to specifically address the concern of those students, those who did not do the preparation well. So now, because of some unavoidable circumstances or because of the mistakes from the students' side, some people might not have done good amount of preparation till now. So now, for those students, there will be one thought which will be going on in their minds. Sir, till now I did not do my preparation properly. I'm not going to talk about all the subjects. I'm going to particularly talk about CA inter auditing syllabus now. So CA inter auditing subject, I'm going to talk about it here. So if you are such a student, if your preparation doesn't go well as expected because of some personal reasons, because of some unavoidable circumstances, if you are not able to do the preparation well, now there will be one thought which will be going on in your mind. Will I be able to prepare a few bunch of chapters, and is there any possibility to score good marks in the auditing examination by studying a bunch of a small portion of the syllabus? This kind of thought will be there in some of the students. So I am doing this particular video to address the concern of those students who are looking for options, who are looking for an easy way out to get passed in the CA inter auditing examination. So as I am telling you, very limited number of days are available. So why I am doing this video is to help the students how to be choosing in your preparation, how you can be choosing your preparation, how you can prepare for a limited number of chapters but still have odds in your favor to get qualified in the CA inter auditing examination. So I am going to address your concern, guys. I am going to list out a few chapters from the beginning if you are unable to do the preparation as expected. So if you want to be choosing your preparation, if you want to prepare for a limited number of chapters, but still if you want to increase the chances of passing in your CA inter auditing examination, this video is for you. So in this video, I'm going to list out a few chapters which, if you are thorough with that chapters, there are more chances, there is more probability that you will get qualified in your CA inter auditing examination. So I'm going to help you out with the chapters, with the important chapters which you have to prepare for. Okay. So let me address that concern. So please listen carefully. I will not take much of your time. I know since you are having a very limited amount of time, I will not waste your time. I will directly come to the point. I will just list down the chapters which you have to prepare carefully, thoroughly, and I will end this video. So listen carefully. So first priority, when you are preparing for the CA inter auditing examination, there are a few chapters which I will say, if you don't prepare for the chapters, don't go for the examination. So I'm going to list out 4 specific chapters. If you did not prepare for these 4 specific chapters, better don't go for the examination only. So those 4 chapters which you must prepare and from which there will be a significant amount of weightage from the examination perspective. So those chapters are going to be: number 1, nature, objective and scope of audit. Nature, objective and scope of audit. Number 2, you have to thoroughly complete the chapter company audit. After that, you have to prepare for the chapter audit reporting. You have to complete the concepts, all the concepts of the audit reporting. Then number 4, you complete the chapter audit documentation and audit evidence. Audit documentation and audit evidence. Along with that, I will tell you 4 specific standards which you have to be very thorough. Complete SA 501, SA 505, SA 510, SA 510, and along with that SA 580. These 4 standards compulsorily you have to cover. So I'm telling you once again, if you don't prepare for these topics, don't go for examination. So these chapters are very, very important. A very good amount of weightage comes in the examination from these a few selected chapters. And there were attempts from these chapters alone, a minimum of 25 to 30 marks you can expect. a minimum of 25 to 30 marks you can expect from these chapters. And there were a few attempts where they have tested from this four chapters whatever I have listed. There were attempts where they have tested even 40 marks from this content from the chapters whatever I have listed. So your first priority, your top priority should be covering these aspects, covering these topics and these chapters thoroughly. Don't leave anything from this chapter. Try to cover 100% of the content from these four chapters along with that four standards. What are they? List them out once. Nature, objective and scope of audit, company audit, audit reporting, audit documentation and evidence, and along with that four specific standards: 501, 505, 510 and 580. These topics, first priority, top priority. Now I'm going to list out four specific chapters which are very smaller in size but compulsory question from the chapters. So I'm going to list out four small chapters which it takes less amount of time for preparation, compulsory question from this chapter, and it will also take less amount of time for your preparation. So I'm going to list now those chapters. So once we are thoroughly done with this with these things, now you have to cover the next chapter, audit in an automated environment. You have to cover audit in an automated environment. See, this chapter is very small in size, compulsory question. So if you check the last 2-3 attempts of the question papers of the CA inter auditing examination, from these chapter audit in automated environment, minimum 6 to 7 marks they are asking. Hardly you will find some 7 or 8 questions from this chapter, and from that limited chapter they are testing somewhere around 7 to 8 marks from this small chapter, and it will hardly take 3 to 4 hours to complete the preparation. If you are reading the chapter for the first time, if you are carefully concentrating on the content, so hardly you can complete this chapter in 3 to 4 hours. I'm telling it on a higher side. If you are very quick in learning the things, you can complete this chapter in 2.5 hours of time also. But compulsory question, minimum 7 to 8 marks. They have tested in the last few attempts. Then I will say fraud and responsibilities of auditor. I will say fraud and responsibilities of auditor. Once again, this chapter is also very small, very easy to prepare, no complex topics, very easy ones. And from this chapter also, from the last few attempts, they are asking somewhere around 6 to 8 marks from this chapter. And if you are very focused, you can complete this chapter also in the span of some 2.5 to 3 hours of time. You can complete the chapter fraud and responsibilities of auditor. Now, the next two chapters which I am going to list down. Number 1 is about audit sampling, and then I have analytical procedures. These two chapters also you have to cover. So these four chapters, they are very small in size, limited number of questions, compulsory question from these chapters. There will not be a question paper without the questions from this 4 chapter. And in the worst case scenario, I'm talking about worst case scenario, if you prepare for this 4 chapters, from each of the chapter 4 marks, they will ask 16 marks. In the least case scenario, you will get 16 marks from this chapter. And if your time is so good enough, from these chapters, there were attempts in which they have tested for 28 marks, 26 to 28 marks on a maximum side you can get from these 4 chapters. Okay, so I will say these are the chapters, bare minimum chapters which you have to prepare. Sir, you did not tell various other chapters, like there is audit of banks, audit strategy, sampling and audit strategy, planning and program. From these chapters, will there not be any questions? Definitely there will be questions from other chapters also. But when you do this cost benefit analysis, what is the time you are spending and weightage, I will say these are the chapters which you have to prepare thoroughly, which will take less amount of time and high weightage from the examination perspective. So you should have the top priority of these chapters. First you cover this section. Once you are thoroughly done with that, then cover this 4 chapters which contains compulsory question. After that, I want you to do one more thing. 2 chapters I am going to list out: audit of items of financial statements, and other chapter, audit of various entities. The last 2 chapters. So I want my dear students to go through these 2 chapters also. Why? Because why I am telling you this is, these 2 chapters are such a chapters where in the last few attempts they are asking questions up to 14 marks from these 2 chapters put together. But you have to be very careful when you are preparing for these 2 chapters. I always say this in the classes also. Never ever try to mug up the content from these 2 chapters. Never ever try to mug up. If you are trying to mug up the content from these 2 chapters, you are unnecessarily wasting your time. So what I always suggest, if you are preparing for these 2 chapters, what I always give the suggestion, even in my regular classes, if you watch my regular classes, there also you will find my suggestion saying that you have to give a novel reading of these 2 chapters and try to list down the points once. So these 2 chapters are completely practical. And you should not be unnecessarily waste your time on mugging up the content, but you have to give a novel reading once and try to do the lot of imagination will be required in these two chapters. And I also suggest one more thing. These two chapters should be prepared close to the examination. The last two chapters which you should be preparing is these two chapters. And also I say one more suggestion to my students who attend for my regular classes. Before you go for the examination, for example, your exam is going to start, your auditing exam is going to start at afternoon 2 o'clock. If you are closing your preparation by 12, so you will close the preparation by 12, no? Last 1.5 to 2 hours, you spend the time on revising these two chapters, then go for the examination. This suggestion I always give it to my students. Why I give this suggestion is, why? Because these two chapters are very practical. Close to the examination, if you have a look once, for example, if they ask you, how do you conduct audit of a hospital? See, out of our common sense also we can write some points. But the first thing which will stop working when we are sitting in the examination is our common sense. Points will not strike our mind. But if you have a look at this chapter close to the examination, you will be able to recollect so many points. Clear? So that is what I always say. Close to the examination, you prepare for these two chapters and compulsorily revise these two chapters before you close your preparation and go for the examination. Understood, everybody? So these are the chapters, these are the concepts which you have to be very thorough before you go for the examination. And within the short span of time, if you want to score good marks, if you want to get compulsorily qualified in the subject of the auditing, these are the chapters which you have to manage. And also one more thing, there are marathon videos which I have uploaded in my channel for May 2023 and November 23 attempts combined. You can use the same marathon for November 23 attempts also. And I'm really getting overwhelmed by the response which I'm getting from the students. So, and both the parts of the marathon part 1 and marathon part 2, both put together, they have exceeded almost more than 1 lakh views. More than 1 lakh views we have got on CA Inter Auditing Marathon, both parts put together. So I'm really amazed to see how many my marathon is reaching these many number of students. I'm very much amazed, and your comments, your likes, your sharing with the other students, it's really giving me a boost up. It's giving me energy to work more and more and to bring more and more resources before you. Definitely take the help of the marathon. You will be doing a lot of favor on you if you refer to the marathon. That will be a boost up for your preparation. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time. All the very best for your examination. Take care, everybody. Bye. Have a happy learning.